Okay, so I'm here today to talk about why I think Godzilla is a good movie. This is the new one, and I saw it, and I thought it was fantastic. But a lot of people on the internet apparently don't agree. They say it doesn't have enough action. It's boring. I will admit there were a lot of flaws with this movie, but it was a pretty good movie for a monster movie. I can't wait to see where it's gonna go. I'm glad that they didn't rely on King Ghidorah or some of the other monsters. They came up with their own monsters, but they didn't really give them names. They just call them MOBAs. I think they just call them MOBAs. I'm just really gonna be here to address the main complaints people have with this film. First off, they say there's not enough Godzilla, which, I can understand. Godzilla is really only destroying everything in the last 15 minutes. Now, those last 15 minutes are some of the coolest action scenes I've ever seen. But some people think there's just not enough of it. And I can kind of agree with that, but I kind of disagree. Yeah, this is a Godzilla movie, and you expect to see Godzilla. But the way they handled it was also, I think was really clever. And they just built it. Like they said, here. It was pretty much here, you're gonna see an action sequence? No, you're not. You just wanted more and wanted more. And eventually they were like, alright, here's an action sequence. That was fantastic. Had a fire breath. It was charging up his back. It was so cool. I saw it in IMAX 3D. And it was just great. It was great. Now, I do admit, if they at least showed a little bit of the airport fight in Hawaii, I might have been more satisfied with the film, but it still was really good, and they do have Godzilla in the movie. It's just they're complaining there wasn't enough action. I mean, he's swimming, you see the spikes under the U.S. craft and stuff. It's cool. Another big complaint I read about is it's not enough Bryan Cranston, and this I 101% agree on. Bryan Cranston was heavily underused in the movie. They were advertising that he was going to be the main character in this movie, and his plotline was extremely gripping, and I really got it. I was like, alright, I'm ready to follow this guy. But, no, spoiler, in case you want, he dies. And then you have to kick ass. It was boring and dull. Yeah. Bryan Cranston was a lot more interesting. And definitely benefited if he was in it. But if you go into the movie realizing that Bryan Cranston's not going to be in it for long, and the movie really just had sort of false advertising, then it is a lot better. It is. Because you don't set yourself high for those expectations to see Eisenberg going against Godzilla. Because you just don't see it. I don't even think Bryan Cranston saw Godzilla. No, he didn't. He died by the first MOBA or something. Complaining just about the characters in general, and that Bryan Cranston died and no one else was really interested. I disagree. I think that the Japanese guy was really cool, and when he said let them fight, I was just like, mind blown. I was so cool. And I honestly wish, he was in more of the movie, like Bryan Cranston. So, I have to say, generally, the main pluses of this movie, the great things about this movie, was the action scene and Bryan Cranston. And its problems, it could have used some more action scenes. It is Godzilla. So they were kind of restraining it to the point where it was just crazy. And there definitely could have been more Bryan Cranston, or just at least an interesting character, or use an interesting character, because they didn't really use the Japanese guy at all. If they did it, even with Bryan Cranston's the guy, I think it would. But yeah, it's still a really good movie though. That's why I call this Godzilla is a great movie. Because for a monster movie, it's great. They don't overdo the action, although I did just say I want more. They don't overdo it. They don't, like in most Godzilla movies, it's just a guy in a rubber suit, and all you watch is him smashing stuff. And some movies don't have that, but a lot of them do. And this movie was actually smart on how it handled Godzilla. It would show, you're about to see a fight, and then it just cuts to a news report. And it's like, oh my gosh, there's this great action sequence. Oh my gosh, this car just exploded or something. And I thought it was pretty fun. It was pretty clever. But definitely could have been more action. And the acting by he was bland, he was dull, forgettable, and he was the only bomb disposal guy who could actually defuse the nuke. But I guess for a military dude, he's not a bad actor. He's a good actor. It's just he wasn't exactly given the best direction. And I guess this is just a generalization of how military people are. And they're, which I don't know if they are or not, but I hope they're not, because then life is dull. The MOBAs were cool, but one thing I thought was weird is that you saw more of the MOBAs than you saw Godzilla. So they really could have called this movie MOBAs featuring Godzilla, or have Godzilla as a cameo or something. The CGI was just incredible. It's like the only movie these days that has good CGI. I still think, to this day, that the best CGI was in the 90s, because they didn't have enough money to completely overdo everything, although some people like George Lucas still did. But, yeah, special effects. The original, where you had to actually do everything, those were the great things. Because you had to be creative, you had to be smart, and it looked real. It's not like you can just throw whatever you feel like on the screen and everything will be fine. They actually had to look it up. And also, the way that they handled Godzilla, you don't feel tired with CGI. You don't feel like, the CGI stinks like it with the 98 Godzilla movie. That one was just horrible. And it wasn't even Godzilla, but whatever. That's not what I'm talking about. But yeah, Godzilla, the movie, it's worth seeing. Definitely in the theaters. The whole thing will just be ruined if you see it on DVD. Yeah, it's worth watching, and it's not as good as it could have been, but it's an enjoyable time, and that's really all you can ask for. for, like the first time a blockbuster movie. Okay, this is Awesome Charlie.